Welcome to Must Watch Marlins. Eli Sussman here. I run Fish Stripes, providing nonstop Miami Marlins coverage. Fish Stripes isn't always the best at what we do, but we take pride in at least being original, creating content and fun that is hard to find elsewhere. This new weekly video series hopefully aligns with that mission statement. Every week, selecting one pitcher and one position player that I'll be monitoring extra closely in upcoming games. If you like it, could you please literally like it? Leave a like on the video, press that button to let us know that we're on the right track with this series. For the upcoming games of the Marlins, April 12th through the 18th, my must-watch pitcher is a no-brainer here. It's Sandy Alcantara. It's a two-start week for Sandy against first the Braves in Atlanta, then back at home against the Giants. And so far, so good for him here in 2021. His first two starts during that opening homestand were electric. And one trend that stood out to me about Sandy, and just generally speaking, he's the guy on this team that always exceeds my expectations each year, and even as each season is going on. In particular, with him, his latest and greatest weapon is his changeup. He's always had it in his arsenal as long as he's been a starter, but the effectiveness of that pitch is now on an entirely new elite level. In 2019, for example, the whiff rate on that pitch was in the mid 20s%. But then you saw growth as the 2019 season went on. In 2020, smallest sample size, but about a 37% whiff rate on that changeup. And now here in 2021, it's another huge leap forward that we've seen through two starts, 50% whiff rate on his main off-speed pitch. Exactly half of all changeups that he's gotten a batter to swing at this season have been missed. That's absurd. If he's able to sustain it or go anywhere close to that, frankly, as the season goes on, then it is inarguably an elite weapon for him that will unlock the key to him getting more strikeouts, right? He's someone that we've regarded as a top of the rotation guy for a few years now, but in terms of actually breaking through to being a definitive ace, one that would contend for major award recognition, be a perennial all-star, he needs to miss more bats, pile up more strikeouts, keep balls out of play. And that's why this is such a big key for him. I'll be watching that very closely this week. And of course, with Sandy, probably the first thing you think of is his amazing velocity. He's always had that. It's what made him a top prospect when the Marlins traded for him originally. 2018, first year with the Marlins, averaged 95.4 miles per hour. Here's an example right there. Second year with the Marlins, ticked up to 95.5 mile per hour average. This is all his fastballs between his four-seamer and his sinker, which are both keys to his arsenal. In 2020, a full tick up to 96.5 miles per hour on average. Here in 2021, 97.3 on average when he throws his fastball. Pairing that with an improved changeup and being able to disguise those pitches out of his hands, what are you going to do? Your hitters are going to be helpless as long as he has moderate control of those pitches. On the hitting side, it's maybe one that you wouldn't quite expect as the season has started, because Brian Anderson is a little bit slow out of the gate. People know how I feel about Brian Anderson. Pay BA, that came from me, the initiative to extend him and keep him with the Marlins throughout his prime. He is someone who's been a streaky hitter in the past, which is why these first week and a half of the 2021 season don't necessarily raise alarm bells. But there's no doubt about it that he has been dragging down this offensive production early on. He's been unlucky. I mean, that's a big aspect of it. He's been barreling the ball 3 times so far, which is more than any other hitter on the team. And yet, if you look at his actual production, a 197 weighted on base average versus his expected production, which would be a 324 expected on base average. And you see that, honestly, some of this is just out of his control and should even up with a larger sample size. That ex-WOBA of his is better than the MLB average and pretty similar to his career norms. One potential concern with BA and what held him back a little bit, especially in 2020, was his performance against breaking balls, mostly curveballs and sliders. And so far here in 2021, no hits against those pitches, including a couple really ugly strikeouts in that small sample size, coming off a 2020 season when he had only a 177 batting average on plate appearances that ended with breaking balls. That's an adjustment he'll need to make, especially against right-handed pitching. And opponents are going to be able to scout that. If he hasn't made that adjustment, he'll just be seeing more and more breaking balls. I'll be curious to see where he goes from here. So that's going to do it for our must-watch Marlins this upcoming week. Sandy and Brian Anderson, let us know what you think. Expect another video at this time next week. I'm Eli Sussman. Go Fish.